All right, Make It Right one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Make It Right is my fault, I think. I don't know.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. Well, okay.
You tell your story, Max.
Well, I love this song in a way that I don't think most people do. And I don't know. You guys will probably have more to say about it in terms of all the rearrangings. But anyway, this is Make It Right 1. Lyrics we ended up accrediting to Abby, although who knows.
I believe it was Abby.
Yeah.
Quoted lyrics by Michiel van Bell, who is the original lyricist of Make It Right. Music by Sarah Shope and Sarah Toronto, who also did the original. Sarah Toronto did the original music for Make It Right. Quoted music by Lizzie. There's some Lizzie music in here. Kate did the piano vocal arrangement, and orchestral arrangement for this is Abby and Arri. This song began as Hold Your Stance, I think was its main title for a while.
Yes.
And it was basically just, the premise is, instead of doing the Mia Faye phone call flashback, to basically just move that whole first part where Mia is singing about Phoenix to right before Reawakening, so that the Make It Right stuff later is just Phoenix and Maya. So, you feel her absence more acutely. It's not like she just died and then you see her on stage again in like 5 seconds, among other things. I like Make It Right. It's the 2008 demo with Sarah and Matthew Toronto is like one of the many that I really glommed onto when I was first getting into Turnabout Musical that I was very fond of. And as a result, I requested that it remain in the show, even when it was inconvenient. So I apologize. It is, okay, but hey, if I get to write my own version of Turnabout Musical, I get to choose what's in it.
Each version of Turnabout Musical is customizable.
No, literally every version of Turnabout Musical is personalized, and this is my personalization. So go for it.
So I also like Make It Right.
Yes.
So here's the thing. So I think Make It Right, the two pieces, the purpose it serves is that it is the immediate connection of Phoenix and Maya through Mia. So we see the way in which Mia is supporting Phoenix in this moment. And then later when it comes back, it's like this moment where Nick and Maya are bonding over the fact that they've both lost this person who was the source of support. So I think it serves a good purpose. And then like, maybe you could cut it, but like it's short, so
why would you?
Yeah,
it's not a lot of time. It's also, I also did some work to keep it in, specifically the like part 2. I think I must have like 5 different versions that just get progressively shorter. Until, like it used to have more of like full verses, and now it's just kind of a couple of lines. But it's just a little musical moment. It's not a huge thing, but I do like them.
And also like Make It Right is like a relatively major motif in the original Turnabout Musical, like lyrically and also musically. So it felt good to keep it still.
Yes. Yeah. So the only major, besides like the cutting things, can you do the orchestration, Kate?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's just a little bit of the what we call like the head up back straight motif that is like part of Fight Like a Fae, and also it's used in What Have I Done. So first it starts in the viola there. It's like head up, back straight, da, da, staring at your, and then it doesn't fade. And then eventually somewhere in the piano it does the like right there in 14. It's like a sped up version. Yeah.
I love me very fast objection. I love
well, no, that's okay. So yeah, that's objection. But then like 14 is like da 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 da. Only,
which is part of the head up back straight motif, like the end of it. Yeah.
I'm sorry for my terrible singing. You can't like.
No, you're fine.
And then the cello. It's basically like I can't keep a level head, but I da 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 da. And then the viola. Da da. The past is gone and there's no way things will be da da. So it's worked in there.
It's foreshadowing Maya's entrance, because it's my sister Maya will be in town. Will be a victory celebration.
Just a silly little hubs. Head up, back straight. That's what I got for that one.
The lyrics changed a lot. I think I probably wrote the original based on, like, it was originally like the "Today was your first day in court, what an awesome," like there was like it was a different part of the song, and then it just was never really that good. And so eventually we landed on this one.
I want to apologize. I really wanted this line of like, force a grin and don't give in.
Oh, it's great.
Because it's like the it's a lawyer always has to smile something in the games.
Yeah.
Except I think maybe it ended up.
It turns up in some of the Fight Like a Phase.
It's in the final.
It's in the final, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. I think it may have ended up in a few too many places.
It's such a good.
At once it was nowhere, and I was like, I'm gonna get it in here, and then suddenly, I don't know, I put it too many. I don't know what happened.
So if you say it enough times, it becomes a theme.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's here, it's in Flaff, and
it's Fight Like a Fae.
It's referenced in What Have I Done?
What Have I Done? Yeah.
But see, that's kind of, those three songs
are all interlinked.
Like they are constantly kind of referencing each other. Like they're all part of the same arc. So I think it works, and I'm not sure that it really comes back after that.
No.
Except maybe in the reprise, Flaff reprise.
I do want to say
I don't remember.
Favorite...
No, it's not in that.
Okay. Well, yeah, there you go. It's great.
My favorite lyrical thing in here that I remember, it was one of those things where I noticed it and I immediately went, I'm gonna punch someone in the face. But it was the just slipping in the phrase, "I'll be there."
I'll be there, yeah.
And I was like, whoa! I wanna.
And I like now that Make It Right 1 and 2 are like, the part that is actually sung is the same part. Like, so it is identifiable, like this is the same song.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like the first half and then the latter part just doesn't get sung, and then the latter part's the only part that gets sung, but now it's both. And I also really love, and I think what makes it work for me like the most is carrying like the Reawakening drums carrying from the bottom of the song right into the start of Reawakening, like that. That's really like what made the whole thing work when we first put
there's
it
a couple segues that I really love. There's that one, there's like One Lingering Thought into What He Deserves, and there's 600,000 volts into
that whole sequence.
I think they're all linked by a heartbeat, actually.
It is, yeah.
The heartbeat is sexy, okay?
The heartbeat, yeah. It's a great linking, because all you need is just some drums.
Everyone gets it.
Next one.
Yeah.
Reawakening.
Abby and Lizzie orchestrations. This bad boy can fit so many hearts in it.
All right. Reawakening, Here I Am, renamed as such because, Here I Am is actually like the thing that is sung in the song the most. I think it was Liv at first who was like, shouldn't it just be Here I Am? And I'm like, well,
it was deeply contentious.
It's Reawakening.
It was contentious.
Well, and like the reason it's Reawakening is silly. It's that it is a rearrangement, a new version of a song that was originally called Awakening.
Yeah, like it doesn't even make sense for it to be like...
Love isn't logical.
Reawakening is not said until the end of the fucking show.
Exactly.
It's his reawakening as a lawyer. It's thematic.
Yeah.
It's rising from the it's Phoenix something.
Actually, if you read the manga,
pretty much. No, and so my compromise was Reawakening, open parentheses, Here I Am, close parentheses. If we give songs enough multiple titles, it'll be fine.
One of them will stick.
So this was lyrics and music by Justin Briner, who did the original Awakening, and Matthew Toronto, who did Reawakening. And then I also have written for additional lyrics Diana Heslin, Joel Williams, Lucilla Bosvia, and Olivia Ramsey. Additional music by Danny Paparosi, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Lizzie did the piano vocal arrangement, and Abby did orchestral.
I did not get an additional music credit for this because it's not important enough, but I am going to call it out because I'm proud of it.
I love this part.
There's a little, I think it's on the marimba, little August Day thing right at the beginning here. You can see it at the end of that page. Where it goes. Yeah. It's like on the marimba. So Justin Briner wrote Awakening way back in the day. I did a rearrangement of Awakening, like reorchestrating it a little bit, trying to fix some of the like pacing issues that it had, and I added that little thing on a vibraphone, that little August Day call out right at the very beginning. It was one of the things that I was like, "Ooh, this is cute. I'll just put this in here," because I think August Day hadn't existed yet when the first Awakening was written.
August Day was one of the latter songs to be written for the original show.
Yeah. So there was that new arrangement of Awakening, and then like a couple months later, Try did Reawakening and like rewrote it. But he kept that little August Day thing in there. And I was so happy because I was like, oh, he liked it. Yay. And so like the fact that it made it all the way through into TAAAM and it's still in there just makes me really happy.
Was it Diana who did When My Darkest Fears Came True? I thought my career was through.
So
And there's like a slightly different like rhythm to it as well.
It was Diana and Abby pulled me into a group chat and were like, we don't like When My Doubts and Fears Came True. Help us brainstorm it. And I didn't really help, but we did end up with When My Darkest Fears Came True with like a slightly different emphasis so that it sounds more natural.
Yeah. I think Liv was the one who settled on Standing Firm as our guide. Is that right?
Instead of Permanent Guide.
Yeah, because at first it was, because the original was our permanent guide, and then for a while it was my mentor and guide, and then that still wasn't, but Standing Firm as our guide.
The internal rhyme is the thing.
Yeah.
With her by my side.
Standing
firm is good.
Yeah, that's, and then Danny's additional music, that's from TM Live, although we kind of
we messed it up.
We messed it up a little bit. Instead of
so he added the high maybe I'm a lawyer after all, and he did, I'm sure my notes were wrong there, but like it was a high G, I think, and we ended up transcribing it as like a G flat, which sounds jazzier. I didn't find this out until like way later. He was like, oh yeah, no, I sang a G, and I was like, oh well, we were trying to.
It was jazzy.
Yes.
Yeah, if we have the opportunity to make it jazzy.
Doesn't fit with the minor here or whatever.
It sounds finished. Both sound really cool, and they're just like fun little differences.
It's funny, even with all that stuff, like Reawakening structurally is one of the least changed songs in the show.
It's basically the original. Yeah. Well, probably partially because it itself was a reimagining. Yeah, like it had already gone through all of that workshopping to be what it needed to be for this moment in the show.
And I guess something to say is like Reawakening, like in my mind, like this is Phoenix's theme in the show. This is his motif.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And you know, with Reawakening being one of the last songs from the original Turnabout musical to be written as it was, you couldn't really have that interweaving like the Phoenix theme into the rest of the show. But with TAAAM we can, because it already exists.
Yay! Yeah, that is the cool thing about like once you have the whole thing, you can then make all this cross referencing and like in a way that like if you're working on it piece by piece you can't. So that was a cool thing that we could play around with. But yeah, in terms of the orchestration, like you said, this one wasn't changed. Like that, you know, we had those little tweaks you talked about, but it structurally is the same thing as the original. So theoretically, and for a long time, we could just use the original track because we're not moving verses, we're not cutting anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have to change anything. And this was the thing I was talking about earlier that I like remembered when this moment happened. It was like early on in production, we were sitting there and we realized that we had orchestrated every song except for like 3 of them.
You're so right. I was like this, and I'll be there, and it's got to be the butts. I think.
Yes. There were like 3
because those
songs.
were the 3 that were the least changed structurally.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we didn't change them at all. So anything that we had to change structurally, either like you could splice together the original track, but what we did was like, you know, we did the piano reduction, we changed it, and orchestrated it back out. For ones we didn't have to change, we didn't have to do that. And the ones that didn't change structurally were, I think, Reawakening, I'll Be There, and It's Gotta Be the Butts. And then probably, I think, like, maybe, like, Who Killed Gregory Edgeworth or something, like some of Ari's, but those, like, we already had.
Because we had my files, we could very easily, like,
So, yeah, we, in that moment, realized that probably what's best in terms of, like, consistency would just be to do the rest. And like I said, each one of these, at least for me, took like a month. So that was like, oh, let's do 3 months more work. But I'm happy we did it. I think it was fun.
And I
Reawakening.
love this arrangement and like your use of instruments, especially in like the bridge. I was literally like crying.
This is one that's like
I'm happy you said that. This is one that I, as closely as possible, copied Try's. So credit to Try on that.
It's like I think it's really cool the ones that did get orchestrated differently. Like, I love that. I love that you guys had fun with it and did your own thing. I think that's wonderful. This was one that when I hit play on Abby's orchestration, it was like I was listening to the original track. And that was just amazing.
So I tried really, really hard to like match everything I could. I am not
MIDI in the bridge. I'm like,
I
don't know your name, but I feel you're in my soul forever.
I feel you.
Yeah, so the only differences were I had to be cheeky with it, and every time he says victory, which is 3 times in the song, I did add a little bit of the like victory theme that's in Dawn, the da 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 da.
Yes.
It's subtle. A couple of places I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't think this is actually it. But the one that you're actually looking at right now in the trumpets, I owe her this victory.
That's
and
the
then
most obvious one, I think.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. I added that because I think it's fun.
That's great.
And then the other difference was the like very last verse. It just wasn't like feeling right to me. And I think the problem is that it wasn't feeling right. And I think it was the difference between playing live and having like MuseScore play it, is that like there was expressiveness to Try's playing that wasn't coming across in like the orchestration I was doing. So that's I added some extra stuff that kind of gave it like the dynamics and stuff that I think made it a little more expressive. But yeah, that's that.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
All right, next song. Oh wait, before we get there, there's Keeping the Peace. Yeah.
Where's that? Oh, do we not?
Oh, because it didn't have a full. It's literally this.
Yeah.
It's literally just this with like one extra, with like a flute and a drum in there.
Yeah, Keeping the Peace.
And that's it.
At some point, we were like, "Are we gonna fully build this out?" And then we're like, "Nah."
So what this was?
Really quick, I can give the.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so Interlude, Keeping the Peace. Lyrics by Joel Williams and myself. It's my only main lyric credit in the show. EP. Music by Joel Williams and Kate. Coded music by Sugi Mori, Matthew Toronto, and Sarah Toronto. Lizzie and Kate on piano vocal arrangement and orchestral arrangement, quote unquote, by Kate. This song started.
Shade.
No, I'm just joking because we were talking about it.
Damn. Okay.
No.
I thought you loved me. Whatever.
You just said it was like 2 other instruments. No,
Max, I didn't know you hated us.
Wow.
The prehistory of this song was like one of the very, very first things Joel and I did when we started working on TAAAM was let's give like Edgeworth like a musical introduction that isn't like Decree. You know, like
it isn't the last song in the act
because he doesn't sing, because he wouldn't sing otherwise up until then because he wasn't in August Day yet, I don't think. So giving him like a scene, and also like being conscious of this is a show where Phoenix is on stage 99% of the time. Let's give another scene where Phoenix doesn't need to be on stage.
Let him piss.
Yeah.
Go piss, girl. I mean they.
So we wrote this scene, and originally it was Edgeworth and Von Karma basically reporting on what had happened with Payne and how Payne is a loser and Edgeworth is not, and building, just building something out of Decree, out of the first part of Decree. The guilty convictions, no matter the cost, like that all stayed the same. And then we didn't touch it for a long time. And then when everyone else came on board, we were like, we shouldn't introduce Von Karma that early. Like when he does show up in Decree, like that's a good moment for him because otherwise we want
like
Edgeworth
the Fire Lord effect.
Yeah. We want Edgeworth to be the guy in charge from the start. Like we can imply that there's a greater power, but like Edgeworth is our villain to start off with. And so then Kate, did you do the whole work of writing the Payne scene? I can't remember who actually wrote the Payne scene.
I might have. I think I also ran it by. I think Abby and Lizzie, but I don't remember if that was just like.
Yeah,
for
I feel like
editing
you.
purposes.
I
Like,
feel
does
like
this
it was
suck?
mostly. I think I was like involved, but it was mostly you doing like the echoes that later happened in the
Yes.
conversation between Edgeworth and Von Karma.
Right, because that
Which was
version of the
very cool.
scene was like Abby originally, right? Because like it started with us, but then Abby wrote a better version of the decree scene, and then
Yes, and then I just
Kate
repeated
sort of
it.
did the echoes
Yes.
from the decree scene. Yeah, so
From the new version. Yes.
So then yeah, Kate went in and did this whole new thing, and like the basics of it are still basically the same as like Joel's original instrumental. It was one of the few that like we actually did on our own before all y'all. But yeah, that's all I got for keeping the peace.
Right. Just remembered shit from this. Sorry. So I don't think I'm gonna find it fast enough. But in the original quote unquote full orchestration for this, what we ended up using, I literally did that as like a filler to test out timing, I think. I was like, here, this is something. Maybe this will work. Is it this? That's an empty score. What? Sorry, I have a score that's just called KTP, but now it's time to get funky, and it's an empty score. We did not get funky.
That's so funny.
Point is, this full orchestration, if I remember correctly, has this piano. It has one lick of an organ or a harpsichord, whichever it is. I think it's an organ. It has a flute. It has probably military drums in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. This is another example of, I think this original score had the anything to win under it. I don't remember, unless it was just literally just this dun 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 dun.
So the
That's what the 16th notes isn't it? Dun 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 dun.
I think that has to be from the original, because that's like the da 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 da, because I did not come up with that. I think just everything from Keeping the Peace on was the original, because I was like, I'm not gonna change that. I don't know how to change it. But this beginning section has the anything to win bass line, the and then just chords on it.
Yes, that's anything to win's bass line. That is really cool.
Okay, if it is, that's crazy, because it's also a lot of things Von Karma's part.
Let's go, dude.
Motifs.
I don't know, because I wrote that part so like 2010, 2011. I don't think it was on purpose though.
Well, that's
Maybe it
that's
was.
more or less like the same chord changes as anything to win.
Maybe it was a reference back then and I just forgot. That's
Probably.
so funny.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Hidden in here, at the top, you have this other piano line up here. That's One Lingering Thought, baby. One lingering thought fills my mind, burdening me with anxiety. And then you have randomly in the middle, because I thought it was funny, as Pain comes in, you have, I think, the piano going, I'm the rookie killer.
Oh my god.
Which also happens to be the Dies Irae.
Oh, rookie killer Dies Irae.
I did not know that.
That's so good.
But in the, it must have been in the final, because it also has the ba-da, da-da-da-da, because that was the closest I could get, and also, like, that's another Dies Irae, add it to the list, baby. And then in the flute, this comes in with the ba-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, this is old. This is old. I know this is old. Because at some point in here, when Edgeworth says, what is it, like, you wouldn't want, like, him to find out you're piece of shit or whatever it is. And because in the organ you have the da 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 da, and then in the flute I think it's first you have the da 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 da, and then the organ hits da 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 da, because it's like Edgeworth saying it first, and then it's like a woo, our Lord was that like oh Lord he coming.
And the big steppies. Yeah.
I think it's on the next page.
The big steppies have to be in there.
Like you can see the
ending of
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an extra anything to win.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Cause then this is still da 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 da. Oh no, this has the da 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 da, and then back into da 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 da. And then
it's the big.
Guilty conviction.
Yeah.
Like, and then this whole thing, which I
This is all
like
Joel,
relatively
basically.
confident was
Yeah.
Joel. Yeah.
It was great.
And then the
and then-
gumshoe
You wanna
stuff.
talk about
That's you.
This section. This
That's you.
section. Yay. 26, when Gumshoe comes in, I was really proud of myself because I managed to somehow fumble another melody that is not really the song itself is in 4/4, but the melody is not.
It's not.
It's in like 6 or something stupid. But this is Gumshoe's theme in here. The da 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 da. And then I'm the kind of pal that you can trust. And then da 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 da.
And then that's the same from the original.
That's that's back to Joel.
Do I want to talk about Big Steppies?
Big Steppies, my
Big
beloved.
Steppies.
Big Steppies. I don't remember if they were first written for Anything to Win or for Keeping the Peace.
I think it was keeping
It's
the
got to
peace.
be keeping the peace because it's meant to evoke the presence of a not on stage Von Karma.
Yeah.
Right. Big Steppies was exactly that. Was just the very slow sound of either feet hitting the ground or the cane hitting the ground, of just very slowly approaching the door or something like that.
Yeah.
And so what
Like you
happened
dropped a
was-
boot or something, right?
Yeah, I walked around my room in my boots. Excuse you, and then you were like, "Sucks." And so I think I don't remember if we ended up using like a
it was a mix.
sound found online
We
or
used a royalty. I found a royalty-free sound font. I can't remember if we used it for the cane or for the step. It was a mix.
I think the cane was a sound like a sound effect, and the step was Kate's boot.
I
And
know
then
it was a
just put
mix.
it-
It was one or
Yeah.
the other. But I found a
Yeah.
royalty-free sound effect that I like slowed down and like made rhythmic. And then I was like, "Here you go. It's Big Steppies." And then we
Yeah,
added
Steppies.
the part was missing.
Yeah.
we put
The tempo is the tempo of Anything to Win because it's actually like in time to that, and then we just pasted it other places.
Yeah, because it's in like this. It's in
Anything to
Decree.
Win, and it's in.
Decree. It's in
Oh, is it?
600,000
Decree?
question
No,
mark?
it's not in Decree.
I don't think
because
it's
he
in
walks
Decree.
in and
It's
he's
in
already there.
600,000.
It's in
You're right,
it's in
he's
Anything
right.
to Win.
Yeah.
It's in 600,000. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
that's what it is.
So it's like the hint of him, then it's revealed that it is him, and then it's like the threat of him approaching.
Yeah, now do you know what it means?
Oh,
Yep.
the other thing, and we will probably touch on this more when we get to it, but there was one other sound that I wanted in the show when it came to Von Karma, and it caused issues with everybody involved. But I stand by my choice. And we will talk about it when we get to Decree probably. But that was the one thing where I was like, this is gonna rock. And then there was apparently people that didn't like it. And I was like, all right, well, it'll be ambiguous. And then it was ambiguous, and people still talk about it. But when it came to Von Karma, we were just like, we need sound effects. We were like, this needs to be threatening as fuck, dog.
Yep.
And then it
It's-
was.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's so cool. But I think that's it for Keeping the Peace. It was
Yeah.
just, it was really bare bones. And then we never changed it, and so it just stayed like that. That's it, basically.